Hello, Glamazon. Thank you so much for tuning in to my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, or website. I always really appreciate each and every one of you. Today, I decided to capture a pigment that I never used before, and it's called Blue Brown by MAC Cosmetics. And this is the look. I wanted to show you guys how I put my spin on it. So if you want to learn how to do this look, stay tuned, and I'm going to show you how. Fix Plus is always my first step. I love to hydrate my skin, and then I'm going to use Studio Moisture. And I'm going to rub this all over with my hands to moisturize my skin. Because sometimes in the winter, my skin gets really dry. And then I'm going to use Natural Radiance of Prep and Prime to not only help me with oil control, but also help my foundations last throughout the day without touching up. Then I'm going to use strobe cream. I'm going to apply this with a dual fiber brush. And I'm going to put this throughout all the highlighted points in my skin. Underneath my eyes, my nose, chin, and then brow bone highlight. Then I'm going to use Studio Fix Fluid in NC45. I'm just going to rub that all throughout my skin. I'm really oily, so I really like matte finishes. And this is a really good matte finish, and it covers well. Then I'm going to blot this with a beauty blender just to get the streaks away. Next, I'm going to use a Prep and Prime lip just to hydrate my lips while I do my makeup. I'm using a spoolie to make my brows go one way. Just clean them up a little bit. And I'm going to use spiked brow pencil just to define underneath my brows and just create a little bit of an illusion for my sparse hairs that I don't have. Then I'm going to use a brow set called Boy Bay. And I'm just going to go throughout my brows with that color just so I can have a little bit different type of color and the colors in my brows. I'm going to use Select Cover Up Concealer. And I'm going to use that to arch out my brows and cover up any loose hairs and try to give me a more exact, crisp brow. And I'm going to go above and below with that concealer. And ladies, don't be afraid. If you mess up, just go back in and refix it. Then I'm going to use that concealer in my nose, just elongate it and give the illusion that's a little slimmer. I'm going to use the dual fiber concealer brush just to blend that in. And just use it as a little bit of a primer for my eyeshadow. Not all the way on my lid, but just a little around it. Because I'm going to use a paint pot. No, actually, this is a fluid line. And this will be the base that I'll use for my pigment. And next, I'm going to use Brown Script and Saddle. Those are my favorite colors. And I'm going to use that all throughout my crease area. And that's going to be my transition color for my pigment Blue Brown. I'm going to use a dual fiber brush just to blend that out and make sure I don't have any harsh lines. And then I'm going to put the blue brown pigment on my lid. I'm going to pat this in just so I can get the more of the product on my lid. Then I'm going to use my concealer palette. And I believe this is like NW25. And I'm going to go over my highlight just because, again, I like a light highlight. Not too light ghost white, but just a little bit lighter so that I can be a little bit more dramatic, especially with this look. And then I'm just going to go over my nose and again underneath my brow bone highlight. I like to bring it down just a little bit further than regular just so I can blend better above my brow bone. And then I'm going to use that concealer in my pout. And I'm going to use a color, I want to say it was, I can't remember what color that is, but I'm using Embark underneath my eyes as liner. Steamy, that's what I put in my brows. And I'm going to use, in the tear ducts. I'm going to use the Select Cover Up NW30 in a beauty blender just to blend underneath my eyes and just beat that concealer in my face just so it gives a really nice airbrush finish. And I'm going to do that on both sides and just blend it everywhere that I have my concealer at. And then I'm going to take my dual fiber brush again and just kind of clean up my mess of what I did for my eyeshadow. And then I'm going to take my beauty blender and kind of just sketch out my contour. And I'm going to put a Prep and Prime, a translucent powder everywhere I put my concealer just so it can like set and bake for a little bit. And I'm going to also do that underneath my contour. And this brush has nothing on it. I'm just blending out my eyeshadow again so I won't have any harsh lines. And then I'm going to put a little black carbon in my corners just because I wanted a little more dramatic type of look and give me a little bit of depth. And I'm blending that in with a little bit more of brown script. Next, I'm going to use Black Track and I'm going to line my eyes. I love liner because it gives you a little bit more of a defined lash, and a little bit more bolder, and it sticks out a little bit more. I love liner, especially Black Track. It just helps you create more of a thicker, bolder black line. And that's what I'm going for this look. So I'm going to give myself a little bit of a wing, not too dramatic, but I still wanted a little wing. And I'm just going back over both eyes. And then again, I'm going to clean up my liner with my Select Cover Up Concealer just so we can make sure that line is exact and exactly how I want it to look. And next, I'm going to use my lashes with a Duo Glue. And Duo Glue dries clear. So I'm just going to press those down and just apply my lashes and push them down just so they, have a little bit more grip. And then I'm going to put on my other lash. Ladies, make sure you wait a little bit so the glue isn't, wet and slippery everywhere because you're going to get frustrated. Now I'm just taking my Black Track and going over my lash application just so it's a little bolder and they merge together. So it'll give the illusion that those are my real lashes. And I'm going to do it to my other eye as well. And I'm just going to cover up some of that glue, help it dry a little bit faster. And next, I'm going to use the Studio Fix NC45, and that's my regular color. I'm just going over my contour areas to give me a soft contour first and just kind of blend over most of the highlighted points just so it's a little bit more natural and not all the way, drag queenie-ish. I want a little bit of drama, but not that much. And then I'm going to use a mineralized loose powder. And I'm going to go over my highlights. And I'm just going to dust over that powder just so that it can set my liquid concealer and look airbrush. And then I'm using a darker, I want to say this is a black powder in dark. And I'm just going over my contours throughout my temples, and my cheekbones, my nose, just so I can get a little bit more drama and more sunkage in, if that's a word. Sunk my cheeks in. And I just spray Fix Plus so I can look more like skin and also give me a base for my highlight. And I'm using Soft and Gentle. And I'm putting that everywhere just to give me a nice little glow, J-Lo glow. And I'm using my foundation again with the Dual Fiber brush just to blend everything together so it looks really natural. And ladies, my amazing Glamazons, I'm going to use a lip liner. And I want to say that is electric. If not, I'm going to make sure I put it in the description box. And then I'm going to use a Snob lipstick. And because I wanted like a pink lips with my beautiful blue-brown eyeshadow. And I'm going to use a little bit of Oyster Girl as a little bit of a pout for my lip gloss. And there you have it, Glamazons. This is the final look. I hope you love it. And thanks for watching. See you next time, Glamazons. Mwah.